Government noticed the growing Russia-China relationship since the start of crisis, especially in the military domain. Does this show a shifting of global security architecture and whether India is in a position to tackle the geostrategic challenges posed by this shifting global security alliance?
Thank you.
Fully cognizant of all changes which are happening in international relations, including between Russia and China, but including between a lot of other countries as well. And we monitor it, we obviously assess it from our own national perspective and fashion our strategy in accordance with those developments.
Thank you. Manya Naresh Gujralji.
Thank you, sir. So I'd like to compliment the Honourable Minister as well as the government for following a very deft foreign policy on this issue in our national interest. We managed to get all our students back, and yet we are facing problems day to day when it comes to trade with Russia, because there are a lot of sanctions against many Russian companies. So here I would like to point out that the West is playing a double game. They continue to import petroleum from the entire Europe is importing petroleum from there, and they lecture us that we should not trade with them.
Question, Manya Gujarat.
My question, sir, is, for many years, India had a policy, we used to do rupee trade with Russia. Is the government thinking on those lines so that our exports are not hurt and we continue to import from Russia? Thank you very much, sir.
Sir, I would like to inform the Honourable Member that because of the emerging problems in dealing with Russia, government is examining various aspects, including the payment aspect. There is a group within the government composed of different ministries. It is led by Finance Ministry to examine these matters. As regards the reference to the oil trade which the Honourable Member made, I would like to take the opportunity to inform the House that in fact we have a very, we import very little oil from Russia. It's less than 1% of our imports, and many other countries import 20 times, 10, 15, 20 times the amount of oil that we do. So I share the Honourable Member's observation on this matter.
Thank you. Manya Professor Manoj Kumar Jha ji.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Chairman, sir. Through you to Honourable Minister, sir. My question is, 1947 onwards, we had a very robust policy. Whenever any territorial integrity or sovereignty was violated anywhere in the world, are we in sync with the same kind of policy as far as our statements are concerned on Ukraine-Russia issue? And second, are we watching the realignment in our immediate neighborhood?
Only one question, Professor.
With seriousness. That's it. Thank you.
Please.
So I'd like to inform the Honourable Member that we are very clear on our principles. As I said, our policy is very much guided by our belief that the international order must respect the territorial integrity and sovereignty of states. At the same time, what is happening in our neighbourhood, obviously, I would like to tell the Honourable Member, it is foremost in our attention. And again, there are a lot of developments taking place and we are monitoring them very, very carefully.
Thank you. Manya Swapn Das Gupta ji.
Sir, firstly, I'd like to compliment the Minister for his very clear elucidation of what our policy is going to be, the principles on which it's based on. However, sir, now that we've got what the statement calls the top priority out of the way, and we've got most of our students very successfully out of Ukraine, there is now an increasing fission. There is now an increasing polarization. So rather than the two sides coming nearer, it's actually the breach is getting wider. In these circumstances, I would like the Minister to point out whether this will have our position, which basically is that this is not our war.
Question, please.
Is this going to have any negative impact on some of our closest allies, not least in the Quad, but in some of the other states and things?
Thank you.
So I would like to clarify to the Honourable Member that in fact In fact, our position is not that this is not our problem. Our position is that we are for peace. That when the Prime Minister spoke to President Putin 3 times, when he spoke to President Zelensky twice, the intent of it, obviously at that time the evacuation of students was a very big issue, but there was also a larger conversation on what we could do to lead to encourage a cessation of hostilities and return to diplomacy and dialogue. And I think today that sentiment is widely shared by many countries in the world, and I think we articulate it very strongly.
Thank you.